101.3 FM, KRNG Fallon, Reno, Fernley, Sparks, Nevada, and surrounding. 101.3 Biggest Little Radio presents Jan's Small Business Spotlight with Jan Friend.
We're taking care of business once again. You're listening to Jan's Small Business Spotlight. I'm Jan from the Fernley News Network. Find us online at fernleynews.com for all your breaking news and weather. To find local businesses and services, check out our business directory at fernleybusinessdirectory.com. If you've got a business, you need to be there. This segment is sponsored by Liberty Fitness. Liberty Fitness. Fitness, is it? Sorry, guys, I love you. Liberty Fitness, teaching strength through discipline. Call us with questions for our guest anytime through our live broadcast by calling 775-404-1115. Text us at 775-737-2344 or use the chat box at biggestlittleradio.com. Today, my guest is Patricia Wood from America Pacific Mortgage. Patty has been specializing in reverse mortgages exclusively for 6 years now. Over 6 years, really. She started doing reverse mortgages in 2006, and she felt so passionate about the product that in 2011, she decided to solely work with the reverse products. She joined American Pacific Mortgage, which has a reverse division. American Pacific Mortgage does the loan from start to finish, and Patty holds your hand, per se, through the complete process. And I've seen her do it. Patty has seen this product change lives to so many people that she enjoys her business to the fullest. Helping others to get where they want to be in life is one of her goals. Patty moved to Carson City, Nevada in 2005, which she loves, and she built her home there. So she's here to stay for a long, long time. She handles her business throughout Nevada and also California. She's licensed in both states. She also has the capability to refer to other states if necessary because of her extended resources. Patty has 2 married children and 5 grandchildren, and they're all in California. Welcome to the show, Patty.
Thank you.
I'm looking at tons of paperwork that you sent me, so we're going to have our work cut out for us. I'm hoping to get everybody up to speed on what this is, how it works, along with dispelling a few myths, and especially how reverse mortgages have changed since they started.
Yes.
So let's get started on this. I've been talking to a few people, and that's the reason that I called you, because I've been hearing so many people repeat myths that I knew for sure that weren't true about reverse mortgages.
You're right. There's a lot of myths that people misunderstand. The main thing that they're worried about is, the bank's going to take my house. Mm-hmm. That is not true. The bank does not take your house. But let's back up a few steps. First, I want to say that thank you for inviting me to do this, and thank you to your wonderful radio station, 101.3. And so the first thing about the reverse mortgage is at least one party has to be 62 or older. Mm-hmm. It used to be that both people that were on title or anybody on title had to be 62. That has changed. That was a big change that happened. Mm-hmm. And so only one person has to be 62 or older. You need to have a little bit of equity in your home. Approximately 50% would be a good percentage to start at, mm-hmm. but you want to have some equity in your home. The bank does not go on title to your home. It's just you remain on title to your home. It's like any other note that you get against your property. Mm-hmm. You're going to have at some point in time, if you sell the property or if you do a reverse mortgage and you live in the property until your death or you move, mm-hmm. then at that point your heirs who will handle your estate will either have to sell your home mm-hmm. or refinance what is owed against the property mm-hmm. and then pay that off, and your heirs or estate would get the remaining balance. And so never does the bank come in and take your home. Mm-hmm. Now, you will be responsible for your property taxes and your insurance. Mm-hmm. If you have any homeowners association dues, you're responsible for that. And then finally, you need to keep your home up to snuff. I mean, you need to, if there's repairs that are needed, the roof blows off, you need to put a new roof on, basically.
Yeah.
So you must maintain the property. And, eventually, like I said, when the house, when you come to the end of your life, then you will sell the house and pay off that mortgage. So that's...
Well, where the reverse is too, you're not taking all the money out. So, when you pass, your heirs are only going to have to worry about refinancing maybe half of that to pay that portion off.
Correct.
And
correct.
then they can pick up the property from there.
Right. That is correct. Yes. And most of the time, most of my clients that I've helped get into the reverse mortgage, it's mostly because they have this equity that's sitting there, that they're not using this money. And yes, because we all know that we've gone through hard times over the past 12 years.
Oh, yeah.
And it's now getting better and property values are improving. And so they have all this equity that's just sitting there.
Right.
And they're on a limited income. So rather than just live month to month to month, when you tap into that equity and pull out a portion of your equity, yes, not the whole thing. The nice thing is because the property values are increasing, your loan balance, because you don't make a mortgage payment, you do have interest that compounds to the reverse mortgage balance, however much you take out. But if you get a line of credit and you just use a little bit of it at a time, then that's only a little bit of interest that's going to compound.
Right.
So therefore, as your property value goes up, your equity is going to go up as well.
And that could compensate for what if you've taken anything out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the good thing is, if you're worried about leaving, your children or your grandchildren, you want to leave them your estate or leave them some money. In this day and age, most of the time there is money left. Now, I do want to stress that this is an FHA loan, so it is. There's insurance, FHA insurance that you pay. Excuse me, you don't pay, but it also compounds. And the reason for it being an FHA insured loan is because in the event, as it was 15 years ago when the market crashed and property values went down so much, FHA had to take back a lot of homes when people would pass away. Maybe their home was only worth $200,000, but they had taken out $350,000. The reverse mortgage has changed a lot since then, and because back in those days they were giving you 75 to 80% equity out of that property, and so your equity got eaten up very fast. So that's why they changed it. So now you get about 50 or 60% out of the property, but there's still enough equity in there. If you ever were upside down, that's when FHA kicks in and you only pay off what your property is worth. And if there was more owed, then FHA would pay the difference to the lender.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. There's no personal debt to this property. If you have a huge estate and you get a reverse mortgage, you only have to use the house. Whatever the house sells for, that's what you pay the reverse mortgage off with. There's not additional debt to your estate. So,
well, I don't know if it. Okay, I'm not gonna go with my question right now because it's kind of a little off and it might sidetrack us a little bit. So there's three types. There's three types of reverse mortgages, correct? There's two
types.
Three. I thought there was like a bulk payment and a...
Oh, there's four different types. Yes.
There's four now.
There's four different ways to take payment. I'm sorry. I thought you were the reverse mortgage. First of all, you might hear the reverse mortgage also known as the HECM loan, which is HECM, which stands for Home Equity Conversion Mortgage, because you're converging.
Converging?
Yes.
Yeah.
Converting. You're going to convert your equity into a mortgage. And so that's why it's labeled that. We're not going to touch on the reverse purchase, but that is the other. There is a reverse purchase where you can actually purchase a home with a reverse mortgage. But back to your question, there are four different types. ways that you can take money out of your property. There is one lump sum. Let's say you have a mortgage to pay off, so you really only have an additional $10,000 that they're going to allow you to take out of your property. So you would probably want to go with a fixed rate and get that extra $10,000, and that's the one lump sum. And then that's called the tenure. And then there is the next way to take it is in a line of credit. So you would go with a LIBOR rate, and you would get a equity line of credit, basically is how that works, and you could take any amount at any time. And then the third kind is the tenure modified. So you can have a line of credit, and you can take out, you can have monthly payments as well. And then you can also take out however much you want to in the line of credit. And then lastly, I think I said that the equal payments. You could,
So
if
you need an additional $200-300 a month, then that's the one you set up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you would set that up so every month you get $200. Now, let's say, for instance, you are ill and you have lots of doctor bills and you have enough equity, and instead of only getting $200 or $300, maybe you want $1,000 a month, because maybe your life expectancy is only for the next 10 years. Then you can pull out however much you need to.
Now, there, how is it now with, the stick-built properties? Of course, that's a built home,
Right?
I've had people ask me, well, I've got modular someplace. Is that covered?
We do.
Did they change that, or did they add or subtract?
We do manufactured homes. The manufactured home must be on permanent foundation. So they must own the property that the manufactured home is on. Yes, correct. And then FHA guidelines, there's an 8-point foundation or a full skirt foundation. If it's a permanent foundation, then yes, it will be FHA approved.
Okay.
And I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot, like over in Silver Springs where they're building, they've got the new road coming through.
Right.
Those properties are going to go way up. There's people over there that are retired that are wondering, hey, does what I have qualify?
Yes.
If they want to go that direction.
Yes, in fact, I do lots of manufactured homes. That's and it's just, it's just one more step that we have to do is to get the structural engineer report. That's something that I handle. So that's another thing with the reverse mortgage. I am going to jump in here real quick because one of the myths is that, it's so expensive. There's so many fees. And, really, it's not. It's a lot less than what it used to be because we're regulated. It's been regulated more in the last couple years than it was years ago in the past.
So it's more consumer friendly.
Yes, correct. Yes, that is correct. And we're able to, there's various different rates. It's just like a traditional mortgage. You can pay a little bit higher interest rate, get a little bit higher interest rate. You're not making any monthly mortgage payments. So if the interest rate is a little bit higher, then you get a little bit more, that kind of situation.
Let's see, did we... on the qualifications, 62, we hit that. Anything new with the qualifications? We've got about 30 seconds.
No, not really. The qualifications, again, at least one person has to be 62. If they have a spouse, then that person can...
And they have to live there, too. You cannot live there. You can't rent it out. You can't...
No, it's got to be your primary
your
residence. Home. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're definitely home. Okay, I've got only like a few seconds left, so let's break right now, pay some bills, and we'll be right back after a few words from our sponsor, Liberty Fitness.
Follow the conversation on our chat box at www.biggestlittlerradio.com.
Strength through discipline is our motto, and we can help you live by it. We are Liberty Fitness, and we offer a variety of classes for adults and youth to help you reach your goals. Contact us at 980-8096 or visit us at 888 Highway 95A for more information.
The number one.
101.3 FM, KRNG, Fallon, Reno, Fernley, Sparks, Nevada, and surrounding. 101.3, Biggest Little Radio, presents Jan's Small Business Spotlight with Jan Friends.
Brought to you by Liberty Fitness. We're talking to Patricia Wood about reverse mortgages today. If you have any questions for Patty, call us here at 775-404-1115 or send a text to 775-737-2344 or use the chat box at biggestlittleradio.com. Patty, so we don't forget here, can you give out your contact information so if people have questions after the show, want to call you up and say, hey, you know, I'm confused, it's clear as mud, so can you answer me something? You know, your phone.
Sure. Thank you, Jan. I can be reached at 775-954-0366. That's my direct line at American Pacific Mortgage. At 775-954-0366. If you're a Facebook fan, I'm on Facebook, Patricia Wood. My email is patricia.wood@apmortgage.com. And either way, and if you can't get a hold of me, get a hold of Jan or this radio station, and we'll hook you up. I would be very honored to sit with anybody who's even curious about it, because this is what I'm so passionate about, and this is my job that I love to do. Mm-hmm. So I would run numbers specifically for your situation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See if it's a good option, good fit.
Yeah, and it's no cost and great. And also, if you didn't write all that down, you can also go on fernleynews.com, look on the right-hand side, and you'll see a big picture there, and click on it, and then you can go over and find her information as well.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, let's hit a couple of these myths, because I'd really like to dispel them. You know, because it's confusing. People, you know, they talk to each other, and my neighbor said, or I saw this on Facebook or whatever, and that's not necessarily the right thing. So the one thing is like my Social Security, my Medicare, my 401k, you know, that they may be taking a draw from, you know, that's going to be affected if I get this.
Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. No, the one thing is this is equity that you've earned in your property. You've already paid taxes on making those payments or whatever. And so unless you make over the certain amount, you know, $100,000 a year that you're drawing, right? There may be a tax consequent, but this is not income. This is equity that you've already paid taxes on.
And that's something to really realize, because if you need an extra $2,000 or $5,000 during the course of the year, it doesn't count as income if you're still doing taxes. It's, you know, Social Security isn't considered income, and this as well isn't considered income.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Now what about, you know, like you get a conventional loan for a house. You've got certain out-of-pocket things that you have to give. Right. With this,
with the reverse mortgage, the only out-of-pocket fee that's going to cost you is before you do this. After you decide that you want to do the reverse mortgage, and I have counseled you, and we've decided that this is the good option for you, then one of the things that HUD requires is a third-party counseling session. This is very easy, over the phone. It's a simple phone call. If there's more than one party involved, you put them on speakerphone. They ask you your name, your address, your birth date, what your approximate utility bills are. That kind of stuff. And then it's a 20 to 30 minute counseling session. Once you get that, they'll give you a certificate. And that's it. That's the only out-of-pocket cost that it costs you. Everything else is built back into the loan. The appraisal, the credit report, the title and escrow fees, everything is built into the loan.
And it's not really that much. Or has it changed in the last 3 or 4
No,
years?
it's
It's around $100 or something, isn't it?
For the counseling,
Yeah.
the counseling has increased to $115.
Okay.
There's a whole list, and they range from $115 on up to $150.
And there's a ton of different places that you
Yes.
can call to
Yes,
do this.
that is correct.
And it's over the phone, so it makes it really, really simple. Now, let's hit on qualifying, because that has changed a lot. It used to be, hey, I got a house, I got equity, and the bank said, oh, okay, here's 80% of it or whatever. It used to be really simple. That was getting people into trouble. Then they were worried about predatory something or other, so that there was a lot of laws that came in, for the protection of the consumer.
That is correct.
So how does the whole qualifying process work? Okay, so somebody is they'll call and they'll get the basic information. You could run the numbers, and then you have to firstly do the counseling session. And
Well,
then
first
you
I'd
go
like to
from
meet
there.
with them. First I'd like to
Yeah.
meet with them, and then
Uh-huh.
I go over
All the
and
options.
yes, as Jan just said, the rules have changed
Oh, yeah.
even since I've been in the business. So before, if you had some equity in your home and you had a pulse, we'd get you a
And you were
loan.
over 62,
And you're
yeah.
over 62, we get you a loan.
Yeah.
Now, they stepped it up, so we have to financially assess people. So we need to make sure that you can pay your property taxes and insurance, and that you can maintain living in the property and pay your utilities. There's a certain formula that they come up with.
But with that paying tax thing, there is another option on there also, that they can wrap up a certain percent or number that they estimate, okay, this is how long that you're going to live, and this is how much you would pay in taxes and insurance. So it's a set aside, right?
That is correct. That's called a LESA, L-E-S-A. And it's a lender estimated set aside that they will, pretty much what it is an impound account. So traditionally, on a normal traditional mortgage, if you set up an impound account, if you don't want to worry about paying your taxes and insurance every year,
Right.
you can have this LESA. And so they collect the LESA. The difference is when you're making a mortgage payment,
Yeah.
let's say your mortgage principal and interest is $500, your taxes and insurance is another $200, so you're making $700 a month payments. Every month they take that $200 and put it into an account, and that's your impound account. And then once every quarter they pay your taxes, once a year they pay your insurance. In the reverse mortgage, what they do is they take the whole amount over the next 10 or 15 years,
Right.
and they collect that much up front, and they hold that into an account. So
they're not actually collecting it. They're just saying, okay, here's how much money that you have available, so we're going to take this much and we're going to put it over here. It's nothing out of pocket.
No.
It's just transferring, dollars from one point
Correct.
to the other, and you don't really see it, but you don't really have to pay.
Right, and that's the beauty of it. And another good point that I like to make to my clients is that if you're considering getting, if you need money and you have equity in your home, rather than go to the bank and get an equity line of credit
Yeah.
where you're going to have to make monthly mortgage payments on, if you got a reverse mortgage, you wouldn't have to worry about making the monthly mortgage payments. And even if you thought, you know what, I could probably afford to make $500 a month mortgage payment, well, then that's when I challenge them and I say, you know what, if you can afford to make a $500 a month mortgage payment, then why don't you take $500 a month, set it aside. At the end of the year, you're going to have $6,000.
Right.
If you don't touch that, in 10 years, you're going to have $60,000.
Right.
So that's another way, if you look at the big picture, and one of the beautiful things about the reverse mortgage is it's a long-term plan.
Right.
So, most of my clients are late 60s or early 70s. I've had some in their late 80s and early 90s. And they're still not ready to hang up the towel. And so getting into their, tapping into their equity and being able to use that money.
Right.
And it's still funny because a lot of times, you always think that you're going to have more years ahead of you.
Right.
So you still want that nest egg.
Yeah.
And so that's a good way of saving money is to, and then you have that liquid cash if you pull it out of your, the equity out in a
And
reverse
it's your
mortgage.
home. It will always remain your home. So the nest egg is still your nest egg.
Correct.
Still.
Yes.
You're just using a little part of it because otherwise it's just sitting there.
Yep.
And it's not, people are thinking, well, it's building equity. But the thing is that the equity on that you get on your home or that is built on your home is from the, there goes the word, how the market is doing.
Right. That is correct.
The market determines the equity.
Yes, and as we've experienced, again, in the past, in a normal market, and let me, I can say this because I've also sold real estate for 28 years in California before I came to Nevada. I still have my real estate license that I keep to do my loans in California, but I don't sell real estate. I'm not into real estate. I have nothing to do with real estate. The only thing I know is that it's normally an 8 to 11 year is a normal flow of the market will go up and then it'll go down a little, go up and go down a little. So as long as the market, and then we had that last crash in 2006, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So as long as the market is doing their the steady flow like it does, you can always count on having equity in your property, which is a nice thing.
Right. Let's see. We've got about 30 seconds here. Did you want to touch on the when you buy the home, because that's new, that's added?
A reverse purchase, a little bit about a reverse purchase. It's kind of the same concept, except for instead of you pulling money out of the house, you're going to put approximately 50% down. So let's say you're looking at a $200,000 piece of property.
Right.
You're retired or you moved here from the area. You've got $100,000. Put the $100,000 down on a $200,000 property. Have no mortgage payment. So that's how that works. But we can get into a little bit more of that later.
That's totally awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening today on Jan's Small Business Spotlight. I'm Jan, owner of Fernley News Network. Find it all in one place. Breaking news, weather, plus instant weather and road conditions. Our main website is fernleynews.com. You can also find us at Fernley News on Twitter and Fernley News Network on Facebook. Our Facebook page is the one you want to check for breaking news, weather, road conditions, and of course, some funny stuff, because we can't be serious all the time. If you'd like to be a guest on this program or sponsor a segment, you can email me at radio@fernleynews.com or call 775-835-3582. You can also call the station at 775-404-1115. Thanks again to my guest, Patricia Wood from America Pacific Mortgage, and to our sponsor, Liberty Fitness, teaching strength through discipline. Until next week, stay safe, stay informed, and keep your dial tuned to 101.3 FM.